Welcome to Brenda Lee's Crochet. And today we're going to make part of a bunny rabbit. The next couple of weeks, maybe 2 or 3 weeks together, we're going to make a rabbit for Easter. So today we're just going to make the bunny ears. Okay, so let's start. Okay, so I have a H 5mm hook, a yarn stitch marker, a yarn needle, and a little tiny pair of scissors, and acrylic yarn. I have white, off-white, and hot pink. So we're going to do the ears first. And this is how we do the ears. Do a magic ring. I wrap around 3 times, go under the first 2 and grab the third and pull through. Do a chain 1, let my finger go off. We're going to do 3 single crochets inside the ring. So we got 1, 2, and 3. Now once I have that done, I'm going to pull this little tail right here, and whichever one of these strings moves is the one I grab, and then I grab the tail, and that's how you pull your ring together. So magic ring and 3 single crochets. Pull your magic ring together. Now usually I just count back 3, so 1, 2, and 3. And then we're just going to go right into that one. And as I do this next round, I'm going to go over my tail. And we're going to put 2 single crochets into each stitch. And I'm going to take my marker and mark the first stitch. Just like that. Okay, so 2 single crochets in all 3 stitches. Excuse me. So 2 there, 2, and as I do that, I go around my tail. 2 in the second one, and 2 in the third. So we have 6 single crochets, and I'm going around my tail so I don't have to weave it in later. And I just pull on my tail, make sure that's tight. We're not going to slip stitch and chain 1. We're just going to continue all the way around in a spiral. We're not going to. So just take your stitch marker out and put a single crochet right there where you had your stitch marker and put it back in. So the next round, round 3, we're going to put 2 single crochets in the first single crochet and 1 single crochet in the next. So 2 single crochets, and I'm still going around that tail, and then 1 single crochet in the next. And there's only 3 of them, so we'll just continue. 2 single crochets, and then 1 in the next. And that should be it for that round, which should be 9 single crochets. Now, I'm going to pull this a little bit tighter so it's tight. And I'm just going to cut it off. Now make sure you cut off the right one. Don't cut off your yarn you're using. And that is, tail is weaved in and gone. And now we have this little cute little point. All right, so the next round is going to be 2 single crochets together. So where that marker was, we're just going to go right into it and do 1, remark, and 2. Now I'm going to put this inside out, this other way, so that I'm working on the outside instead of the inside, because it's much easier to work on the outside than the inside. So go ahead and turn that around. Okay, so 2 in the first, and then 1 single crochet, and then another single crochet. So 2 single crochets in the first stitch, and then 1 single crochet and 1 single crochet. So we'll do that 3 times. 2 single crochet in the first stitch, and then 1 single crochet in the next 2. And we've come back to the marker. That should be 12 single crochets around. Now the next round, we're going to do what we just did in the last round before that round. So 2 stitches in the first stitch. Always remark your first stitch. And then 1 single crochet. 2 single crochets and 1 single crochet. We're just going to do that all the way around. And as you can see, our ear is growing because we're increasing every round. And so that's what we want it to do. We want it to get bigger around. And that will be, that round will be 18 stitches. So you'll have 18 stitches on this round. You hear my birds chirping outside? There's a lot of birds around here. I have a bird feeder and they just love the feed, so you're always hearing birds around here. Mother Nature at its finest. Alright, and I've got back to the first stitch. Okay, we're going to do a single crochet there and remark the stitch. And we're going to go back to what we did the round before that. So 2 single crochets and 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches. So we're going to do that around, and that will come to 24 stitches when we get back to the stitch marker. Okay, so it looks like a little sombrero. Ha, isn't that cute? Little sombrero. Alright, so we went 24 around. Now, this next part, we're going to do 12 rounds of 24 single crochets around. So, I would take a pen and a piece of paper, and every time you do a round, mark it down. Or a stitch counter, row counter, click it every time you do a round, or however you do it. I do it with a pen and paper. And we're just going to do a single crochet all the way around for 12 rounds. There should be 24, every round should be 24 single crochets. So I'll give you some time to do that, and when I get mine done, I'll come back. Okay, so you should look like this. That's 12 rounds of single crochets, 24 single crochets around. And now we're going to go to the next round, which is 1 single crochet in the first stitch. And remark your stitch. One single crochet in the next stitch, and then 2 single crochets together. Single crochet 2 together. So 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, 2 single crochets together. Pull up a loop in the first stitch, pull up a loop in the second stitch, yarn over, go through all 3 loops. That's single crochet 2 together. Go ahead and do that all the way around. Okay, so that brings us to 18 single crochets around, and we're going to do 2 rows of single crochet around, 18 single crochets around twice. Do 2 rounds. 2. Okay, I've done the 2 rounds of 18 single crochets. The next round, and we're going to go back to what we did before. Single crochet, single crochet, and 2 single crochets together around. Okay, at the end of that round, the next 2 rounds are single crochets around. So it should be 14 single crochets now. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Go ahead and do that one more time around. Okay, and now you can fasten off at the end of this round. Leave a long tail for sewing. Okay, so now we're going to do the inner part of the ear. And we're going to take our inner part color. I've got hot pink. You can use a lighter pink or you can use whatever color you want. I'm going to use hot pink throughout the entire bunny. So whatever color you use, make sure you get enough to do, you don't need that much, but you need enough to do the ends of the arms and the legs and the ears. So, Okay, so we're going to start by chaining 15. Same H hook, chain 15. Okay, we're going to single crochet in the second chain from the hook. So 1, 2, and single crochet all the way back. And I'll meet you when we get to the last chain here. So that's 13 single crochets, and you should have 1 chain left. And in this last chain, we're going to do 4 single crochets. So 1, kind of have to hold that little tail. 2. Now we're going to go around this tail. 3 and 4, because we're going to go back up the other side. And we'll go around the tail as we go back up the other side. So it should be 13 single crochets using these bottom stitches here. 1, 2, 3, and I'm just going over the tail as I go up, back up on the other side. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now when I get to 11, I'm going to cut this tail off. Make sure you cut the right part. 12. And the last one's you kind of got to bend it back. It's kind of a little bit to the front there. 13. Okay, so we have gone around. And now we're just going to go right back into that first one. We're not going to slip stitch. We're just going to continue to go and do a single crochet. Now when we do this 1 single crochet and attach it, we're going to stick a little stitch marker there. Okay, so now we're going to go all the way around. We're going to do 1 single crochet and then 2 single crochet. And so we're going to do that all the way around. 1 single crochet. Hello, I've got a little piece of something there. And then 2 single crochet. And we're just going to do this all the way around until you get to the stitch marker. 1, 2. Okay, I've got back to my stitch marker. There should be 45 single stitches around. And now I'm going to take my little stitch marker out and just go right into there and do a single crochet and remark it. And then do a single crochet in every stitch around. And again, there should be 45 stitches. Okay, and that is the inner ear. And we're just going to slip stitch to where your stitch marker was and fasten off, leaving a long tail to sew with. So now we have the outer ear and the inner ear, and the inner ear is going to go in the middle of the outer ear. And so we're going to take our yarn needle, and turn them upside down. Now, you don't want to stitch on this very top because we're going to be sewing that onto the head. So you just want to line it up in the middle as best you can. And then you're just going to do right underneath there, not in that stitch, but right underneath it. You just don't want to get right on the top of that stitch because that's where you're going to sew the ear on to the head. So sewing is pretty easy. I mean, you just go in and out, in and out. Now, be careful when you do it. You don't sew around the other side. And of course, it's going to want to curl up on you. So just I just do a little stitch here. I have my 2 fingers in there, so I make sure I don't go on the other side because you don't want to go on the other side of the ear. You just want the one side. You're just sewing on the one side there. So, every few little bits you can go up and down, and then just make sure as you go, because it is curly, that you put your little fingers in there and make sure you don't get the other side. And then go up a little further. And so you get the gist of it. And do another one. And again, be careful that you don't get the other side, because we don't want to sew the other side of the ear. And so just do that all the way around. Once you get one side down, it's pretty much stops moving on you. You're going to try to want to get the top of the round part, lined up with the little tip here as best you can. Okay, so once you've got it all sewn on, we're just going to go back through the other side and do right here like this. Make a circle and try to make a little knot. So you go through that little thing twice. Make a little knot. And that, make sure it doesn't come out, and then you can just weave in your end a couple of times. Okay, and then you could just cut your tail And there is your bunny ear. Now, when we sew it on, we're going to do this to the bottom part. And so it'll give it its curve. All right, so there's the ear.